Hi, and welcome to Turra Company, the mother-daughter podcast about everything. Our mission is to make herstory, aka history, not by going viral, but by doing something that has never been done before in our family. Whether we have 2 listeners or 2 million listeners, we are bringing you our very best, and hopefully we are learning and growing together in the process. Now let's enter into the Turra Company experience and create herstory, aka history together. Welcome to Turra Company. I got my high pitch welcome back.
Hello.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Oh,
We
love
really
that.
missed that.
Why are
You think
like
people
this?
did in the last episode?
I'm sure they did. I'm sure that's like a staple.
So
for
listen
some
to
people.
this. One thing I want to call out is we haven't been, fun fact company, we used to always batch our episodes. So we would record 3, 4, 5 episodes ahead of time, right? But I noticed we've been recording week to week now, and we're with the current events. Like we can talk about last week was Easter.
Right. We can do stuff like that now.
Where before we would talk about last week of Easter and y'all wouldn't hear it for 3 weeks and y'all be like,
What
wait
are
a
they
minute.
talking about? Like, what is happening?
Exactly. So we gave y'all a break. Everybody took a break from Turra Company for Easter. So welcome back. We're back.
I was gonna say something, but I think you would think it's
because if it's what I told her, she will. Because when we had decided that we were gonna take a break, I was on the phone with her and I had said something, and she was like, "Ooh," she was like, "We're not gonna do that."
okay. Then I won't say it.
Yeah, don't say it. Because I don't even really know that I know what it is.
I think you do. I think you know exactly what I'm gonna say.
I don't even know what it is for real. I mean, I'm still going through with my voice.
But like, are you though? Because it doesn't really sound that different. To
Honestly,
me.
It does sound a little raspy.
It doesn't.
Maybe because y'all hear me and I don't hear myself, and I can
Right.
hear myself in the earphones.
Maybe.
In the
Head-
earphones,
in
in
the-
the headphones.
Turn me up in my headphones.
Turn me up a little bit. Turn me up
Turn me up a little
Turn me
bit.
up one time.
Did Diddy used to say that? Ooh.
Drake.
But Diddy used to say it. I
He
think,
probably
first.
did.
Turn me up in my headphones. Like
No,
all
I
the
always think of
old
Jay-Z.
rappers used to say it.
Yeah, I always think of Jay-Z
Yes.
when I hear that.
He used to say it on his records, I think.
I think so, yeah.
On his records.
He's not making records.
On his cassettes.
Right.
He used to say it on his cassettes.
Wait, he's been around for that long when there were
I don't know.
cassettes
I'm
and
just
not
saying
CDs?
it.
Not cassettes.
Well, fun fact, you could make a cassette of anything that came on the radio. So if Jay-Z's, back in the day when I had my boom box,
Not the
if Jay-Z
boombox.
had a song, I could hit record and record the song onto the cassette.
Got it.
I'm just letting y'all know how things used to work. Stuff was dual functioning. So anyway,
All
let's
right,
get...
yeah. Let's stop all the lollygagging. What are we doing today? What are we
People
talking
love
about?
the lollygag, and they
Right.
missed it last week, so we got to give the people what they want.
You say that like our lollygagging isn't like productive.
No, absolutely it
It's
is.
so productive. It's telling
But I'm
you.
really excited about this episode.
I know.
Okay.
We're going to get to it in a minute. Give it a second. So, fun fact. We was giving all the Easter bunnies time.
Okay.
I'm talking about the real Easter bunnies, not none of what y'all thinking about. Easter bunnies. And back in the day, we used to call Easter bunnies people who only went to church on Sunday, Easter Sunday.
Oh.
That's what we used to say. Oh, I don't want to be in there with all the Easter bunnies because they would only come on Easter. Like some people only go to church on Christmas and Easter because they feel like,
That's all they need to do.
and they feel like God is only there then. I don't get it. I never got it. Even when I was a kid, I used to be like, why do so many people come to church on Easter? Like
I think the other part about it is like some people like travel for Easter. Like some people are like let's say for example,
to family.
yeah, travel to family. So that
And then family goes to church, so you go to church with the family.
right, yeah.
Yeah, that's not the case that I grew up with. The case that I grew up with, nobody traveling. They was living where they was living, and they was going to the church. They went on Easter only. They would put on their zoot suit,
Not the zoot suit.
and they would go. So anyway, okay, let's get to the show because Chelsea's getting quiet. That means I got to roll it along. Okay, so let's get into today's show. And today's show is, we're going to revisit a topic from our first season. We're going to go all
First
the way.
episode, because that was our first
Yeah, but it was
episode.
from the first season.
Absolutely.
Was it the first episode
was
of
the
the
first
first
episode.
We're going to go back to the first episode, first season, and we're going to see if anybody has had any growth. And we're going to ask the question again, are you the bigger person? Are you still not the bigger person? Because I wasn't. Or are you now the bigger person? So it's going to be interesting to see. Mm-hmm. So what do y'all think about me? Do you think I'm now the bigger person?
Why would you change? You tell us all the time not to change you.
Yeah.
So why would I try to change you to become the bigger person?
So now that we've had that show and we've had because when we do a show, it kind of what it does is, I don't know if it does this for you guys, but in me it sparks an awareness. Mm-hmm. And then I'll have a heightened sense of awareness of that thing. So for me, when I think of, am I the bigger person? I'm going to say, why do I have to be?
Absolutely.
And let me go further. You usually have put me in a position that I have to choose to go higher or lower, right? Mm-hmm. So in my thought process, in my awareness, I found that I've been running into people when I'm not the bigger person. I'm running into people who are challenging me, which makes it not my issue. It makes it their issue. Does that make sense?
No, it does. And I can dive a little bit deeper in that when we talk about me, but I see where you're going with
because where I'm going with it is this. I am 52, about to be 53 in a couple of months. Okay. Most people in my life have been in my life for a long time. So they know how I am. Mm-hmm. So knowing that, why would you say certain things that you know are going to trigger me? Right? Mm-hmm. Think about it. So you're my husband. I'm not saying that I'm using him as an example. You're my husband. You've known me for all these years. And you know that if you talk to me a certain way, it's going to get a certain result for me, right? Mm-hmm. So why do I have to be the bigger person? Why can't you be the bigger person and just alter how you come at me?
Well, I think when you say it that way, I think it's one of two things. Mm-hmm. Or not one of two things, but I think it's this. I think people expect to be surprised. And I think that people are like, oh, maybe this time is going to be different every time. And I think that's just how people think in general. Just like whether it's like, thinking somebody's going to go off on somebody or thinking somebody's going to do something nice. Like people are always expecting to be surprised.
But let me tell you this. When you meet a person like me that stands 10 toes down on their business, what is the surprise? You're never going to be surprised by me, because if you come to me in a certain way, I'm going to respond in my way.
Yeah, I know. I understand that.
So think of it deeper, Ariel, because you what you like to do is you like to excuse people. And I'm
not excusing
I get it. But I'm just saying, listen to it from my perspective. Not saying that I'm right, but I am in my particular case.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm right, but I am. Have you ever had those moments where you're like, I'm not saying I'm right, but I am right? Nobody else might think you're right, but you know you're right. Have you ever had those moments?
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now. And the moment that I'm talking about is people be dealing with me knowing the reaction that I'm going to have 9 times out of 10. And so I guess what I'm saying is for me to be the bigger person, for Turra to be the bigger person, I need people to stop coming at me crazy. Because if you come at me crazy, I come back with crazy. There's not too many times that you're going to come at me with crazy and I'm just going to be like, okay. Because you know what that does to me? Whenever a person has come at me sideways, let's say sideways, and I've buckled down and said, oh yeah, and took the lesser traveled road for me. Anytime that's ever happened, you know what has happened? The person goes higher and higher and higher to where I gotta shut them down. Mm-hmm. I feel like you get run over if you don't check people. Maybe that's why I do it. I feel like if somebody comes at me and they're aggressive and I don't meet them with aggression, and I just be like, okay, I'll just do it, and I cower under, the person just comes the next time and gets even more aggressive. that's
well, yes, because people. I'm not saying I'm agreeing with you on this because that's kind of human nature. Is people want to test boundaries.
I like how Ariel whenever it's like mom's topic and Ariel's putting her 2 cents in. I like how Ariel always has to say that she's agreeing with you because
she
that
knows.
is just how far off Ariel can get. It just always cracks me up.
And well, okay,
because you're saying when she explains,
because she's you want to know why how I see it as is that she's about to use words that are so big that it makes it sound like I'm disagreeing. It's gonna sound like she's disagreeing with you. So she puts a disclaimer out there saying, I'm agreeing with you, but I'm just going to use some big words that are going to make it sound
that's
like
her cold talk for I'm about to use some big words.
I mean, it's not intentionally. I don't even think that it's
that's
big
what
words.
Happens. Because I'm like, well,
it's just you're gonna say it in a different way than because I be saying the street way a lot of times.
And Ariel's like, let me put
like
this
I get gully with mine, and then you be like
terminology.
there you go.
That's what Ariel does.
I agree. I just clean it up, not clean it up because
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. She said it. Chelsea just nailed it. You're gonna say some words that I didn't say, and I totally get. It's gonna be like. What was it? Democracy and diplomacy?
Oh my God, Chelsea, I need to tell you this story. Sidebar company. So yesterday, mom and dad were having a conversation. And it doesn't matter what it was about because I also don't remember.
He was talking about work.
Oh, yeah. Some weird
He was talking about not being able to listen to headsets.
Yeah.
In the office.
And that they didn't want people at other people's desks congregating too much.
No, they didn't want... They had shutters, and they had them take them down.
Yeah, it was basically some really just weird.
They wanted them to be open and kumbaya-ish.
But also not communicate with each other all the time. It was weird.
No, they do want them. I
feel like mom should just tell this because I'm getting
because Ariel be getting off the beaten path.
Anyway,
no. So we're talking about some stuff that they had updated at his workplace, and so. I was like, well, what is it? A democracy? Do they want it to be a democracy or a diplomacy? And even Neil, who is not a wordsmith,
even he knew that's not right.
He was like, but you're not right. And I'm telling you, I was going hard in the paint. I was like, no, it is. It's when they have a government, it's a democracy. And then when you have another government, it's a diplomat.
Yeah, and what's funny is I'm sitting over at the table and I'm Googling diplomacy and I'm like, I don't think this is right.
Wait a minute, if Ariel wouldn't have been there, we'd have still been arguing today. Because I would have knew that I was right? So he was like, but it's not. And you could tell he was getting frustrated. He was like, it's not.
Because even he was like, I don't know. I know it's not that word.
Right. And I'm like, I know it is that word. And I said, well, what is it? What Cuba had was when Castro, what was he? And then Ariel was like, a dictatorship? So I meant to say what I should have said was democracy and a dictatorship.
Yes, that is what you should have said.
That's crazy.
But I said democracy and diplomacy. And he was like, wait. And see, because Neil is not a wordsmith, I go, and I kind of think I am, I was going so hard that I'm
just
telling you.
Like he just didn't know.
That's what I do with him. Y'all don't even know. I do that with him all the time. But Ariel just happened to be there, and she was like, time out for our other listeners. I'm doing the timeout sign, referee timeout. She was like, diplomacy means.
And then I literally read the definition of diplomacy.
I was like, well, y'all know what I'm trying to say. What was Castro?
Actually, we don't.
I was like, y'all know what I'm trying to say. What is Castro? And she was like,
a communist?
Right, she kept saying communist, and I was like, no, Ariel, not that. I'm trying to say, what kind of leader was he? She was like, a dictator? Yes, ding, 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 ding.
That's how typical conversations go in this house.
So, in that moment, I probably, to be the bigger person, did I need to be the bigger person?
I mean,
who needed to be the bigger person? Neil?
No. So, in all that, it could have, technically you were wrong. So, you kind of...
I needed to bow down.
You kind of should have been
not bow down, but
kind of take a step back and been like,
and I wasn't.
No.
I'm telling you, if you wouldn't have came in with because even when you came into it,
you were still fighting me.
I was like, Ariel, no.
Because I had Google in my hand.
I was so hot to try with that. You couldn't stop me. I was a train on a fast track to nowhere because you couldn't tell me. But then once we got through it, then we finished the conversation.
Right.
Don't try to love that about me because I will. Once we get back on the track, then we were steamrolling, right? And then it was like, okay, now I get it. Now continue on.
Right. Now we can keep talking.
But yeah, so a lot of times I'm not the bigger person. And you know what? That situation just pulls out something that sometimes I should be.
Yeah.
Like
not always, but in that
not always. Like if you're coming for me, I shouldn't be. But in those type of situations, I need to be more open in correction, I think. But I wasn't not open to the correction. You think I wasn't?
No, because the way you were going so hard in the paint.
I felt like I was open to it. Because I was hearing them out. I felt like I was open to it because I was hearing them out.
No, because
I didn't shut it down.
At first you did because you were like,
no, at first I was
diplomacy.
Like, what? Right, I was like, arguing the fact.
You're like, no, it's because when Dad was saying it, because Dad thought that you were just trying to say diplomat. And I was like, no, both of you are wrong.
Listen, in my mind, and that's why you got to have checks and balances in relationships. In my mind, the way that it went was y'all said what y'all said. I said what I said. I did. I do admit to giving a little resistance to what y'all was a tiny bit of resistance.
Okay.
A small tidbit of resistance. But then I remember coming back around and being like, okay, yeah, Ariel. After it was no more roast today.
Right. After we had given you concrete.
I got issues, y'all. I got issues. That's why I had this show, because I have issues. I love this show because it shows my imperfections. And I hope that in my showing my imperfections, it helps you to see, okay, I'm just like Turra and I'm working on it just like Turra is working on it. Because that's what I want. I don't like when people try to pretend to be perfect. I can't stand that. Like fake perfect people drive me up a wall. I hate people who don't show their flaws, who don't show their cracks. So hopefully by me showing my cracks, because I do have a lot, than that. So am I the bigger person?
No.
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 You don't think I'm the bigger person? You think I always take the problem is I don't mind controversy.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Because I don't mind conflict and controversy, I'm going to press the envelope every time.
You don't mind doing a little tussle every once in a while?
I do not mind the tussle. I actually like the tussle. It makes me, it builds muscle and character. Okay. Because I wasn't feeling no type of way. Like, that's the thing about me, too. Let's go here, and then I'm going to let y'all talk. The thing about me, even though I was wrong, I didn't feel embarrassed. You know how sometimes people will get exposed like that. And they'll feel a type of way, and they'll have a attitude about it. Mm-hmm. Once you corrected me, that's what I'm saying. I didn't have an attitude about it. Once you showed me, it took a minute for you to show me. You had to really pull out the receipts, and that's okay because I'm not gullible. Mm-hmm. So it takes a minute, but once you said it and it clicked, and I was like, oh my God, yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Right. I wasn't combative, and I didn't feel no type of way. I didn't feel like, oh, I'm stupid because I didn't know. Mm-hmm. Because remember the other day something happened and he was like, I felt stupid about it. And I was like, Ariel, you need to check that because, and maybe we should do a show about it later, but I was like, you need to check that because it's not about feeling stupid or not knowing. You don't know what you don't know, right? And in that particular vein, I knew what I was trying to say. I just used the wrong word and took off on the jet plane. I took off with the wrong word and was flying with it.
Right. Straight to the moon.
And I didn't feel no type of way. I didn't feel like, oh my God, I'm so dumb because I used this word instead of that word. Once you gave me the word, I was like, okay, Neil, this is the word I'm trying to use. And this is what I think they're trying to do at this place. So yeah. So who are y'all bigger? First of all, what were you in the beginning?
So I was declaring that I was no longer going to be the bigger person. And now I can say I'm doubling down on it. and that I am not the bigger person, standing 10 toes on my business.
Let's dive deep.
And
Let's dive
I'm
into
no
that a little
longer
bit.
the bigger person. I just don't see a point in it. You know, I'm
Ever?
ever.
So let me think. Let me have a think. Let me think my brain and challenge you on some stuff.
That's what I love about this show. Is that we say things and then the other two are like, let's push that a little bit.
Yeah, because I get what you're saying, that it doesn't serve you, right? Because that's what I hear you saying, that it doesn't serve you to be the bigger person. But at some points, just like me, like when in this situation, so you mean to tell me if I'm wrong, if you're wrong, you're not going to be the bigger person?
I mean, I will be, but I just feel like it's a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, I get that. Because I think you might be thinking of it one way, which how I was thinking of it is if you come for me,
exactly,
I'm not going to take the higher road and be like, oh, I forgive you, even though you just stabbed me with 2 knives in my back. That kind of bigger person.
Right.
And to be honest with you, I don't think anybody should do that. Because just like Ariel just said, what type of boundary are you setting when you allow people to come at you crazy and you not stand up for yourself? Because that's what I call it. Yeah. I call that standing up for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, if you came to me with this foolishness, right? Mm-hmm. And I reacted as not the bigger person to your, that's what I was trying to say, to your foolishness. Mm-hmm. Why do I have to be the bigger person? That's what I found in my walk since we had that first season, first episode, is that people are out here really pushing you and want you to be gullible, want you to be kind of like boo-boo the fool. We used to call it when I was growing up, boo-boo the fool. And then you're supposed to be like, oh yeah, well, I forgive you, even though you just stabbed me 2 times in one blow. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody should take that. I think as a person with security in your self-esteem and in yourself, you in your own way have to find a way to say, nope, we're not doing that. And I think that's what Chelsi is saying in that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say this about you. I'm going to give you this, is that I think that when you're wrong, you don't have a problem being wrong. Because that's part of being a bigger person, too. Because there's some people out there that when they're wrong, they're still right.
Yeah. Right.
And not the good way.
Right. And they're like, well, I don't care what you're talking about. I don't care what's right.
And they can be
right, so that's all that matters.
And they can be condescending, and they can just be downright bullyish with it. That, I think, you are the bigger person in. Because I think when you're wrong, you can say, you know what? Okay, I'm wrong. My bad.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so there's a distinction there. So listen, this is how we showing our growth. Season 1, we was just like, nope, we ain't having it. Boom, 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 whoopity whoop. But now in season 3, we are like the growth, hopefully that you're hearing and hopefully experiencing yourself is, you know what? I am not the bigger person in that way. And that's okay because you're standing up for yourself. But I am the bigger person in this other way where if I'm wrong, if somebody corrects me, I'm good. Ariel. Because Ariel, what was you on the first show?
I was in denial because I wanted to say that I am the bigger person all the time and no matter what.
You like to be liked.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get you some paid professional help for that.
Yeah.
What is that called?
I'm a chronic people pleaser.
Well, even more than that, though, it goes to me. It goes deeper than that because people pleaser. Yeah, you want to please the people, but at the same time, to what extent? Mm-hmm. At the same time, to when do you get to stand up for yourself? Like I'm a big proponent of standing up for myself. Like I love myself a lot. I think y'all know that. I love myself a lot. There's no cracks in the love that I have for myself. So that's why I fight so hard for myself. And so when I feel somebody, disrespect is my thing. When I feel somebody disrespecting me, or if I feel that, it don't even have to be real. If I feel that you've come for me, because of the love that I have for myself, I stand up. You know what I mean?
Here's my perspective on it. And here's what goes through my head in those situations. In my mind, if somebody disrespects me, I want to cut off access to you. And to me, my way of cutting off access to people is I don't even tell people that I'm not going to be talking to them anymore. Or I don't even like go with the aggressive. I'm just like, okay, I don't need to. Noted, I'm not going to talk to this person anymore. Or noted, I'm not going to do this with this person anymore.
But in all situations, you can't do that.
You
like
can't,
in professional, you can't.
Right. So you like
if
of course,
professionally somebody is coming for you, you can't just not talk to them because it's
right. You still have to talk to them. In those situations, I cut down my access, or I like try to find like a workaround so that I don't have to talk to that person, or so that I don't have to interact with that person. But it's inevitable.
But would you call that being the bigger person in those type of situations? Just like Chelsi has her different types of situations. If you are. If somebody's coming disrespectfully to you or not giving you the dialogue that you feel like you deserve, you're saying you don't have a conversation with them part 2, you just shut down and they don't get access anymore?
That if it's like if I can, yes. If I can remove that person from my life, then I will.
And so is that your way of being the bigger person?
No, I don't think so.
Being the bigger person in the scenario that you guys are throwing is not changing what I'm doing. It's just kind of show them that like what they're doing doesn't affect me, especially like if it's in like a work situation.
Yeah,
and like you've done something where it's like, oh, like I should be acting a certain way, or just or I should be like not negative, but just I should like try and limit my access with you and just try and like limit our contact. To me, being the bigger person in that situation is not changing what I'm doing, and still like.
So you don't cut the person off.
Yeah.
You just stay with them.
Yeah.
It just depends though, because sometimes they're so toxic.
Yeah.
You got to do it.
Yeah. It just depends on the situation.
So I'm wondering if Ariel, if you're cutting the person off, is it at any level or is it a certain level where they get the cut?
It's a certain level. Like if it's a small slight, sure, I'll be the bigger person and just like let it slide. Because to me, being the bigger person is either you let it slide or you do something to like enforce the boundary.
Yeah.
Right. And my way of enforcing a boundary is this person loses this particular level of access to me.
But what if it's like a best friend? So say your best friend calls you or y'all hang out or whatever, and they cross a boundary. You don't cut them off.
Not immediately, but I think this is probably why like I have such a small social circle, and why I probably. But
I think that's why you're saying the way your answers are coming the way they're coming too, because you have people that are not necessarily close to you, so it's easy to cut.
Yeah.
But when it's somebody like a boyfriend or a best friend, you kind of don't cut them the same you would somebody that's not that close.
Like it's not, like I said, it's not something that would be immediate.
So let's think of a best friend. Let's go here. It's a best friend or a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And they do something that's kind of like a deal breaker in your book. Are you the bigger person in those scenarios, or are you going for the cut? Because in those particular, you can't just keep cutting because you don't resolve anything when you cut.
Yeah. So in those situations, I wouldn't just let it slide. Like if somebody says something to me and they do something to me that I don't like, those I'll do kind of like what you say of I'll, stand up for myself and say, hey, no, don't do that. Like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That in those situations, for those kinds of people, if I have that kind of relationship with them, then.
But we're not talking about that. I was specific. I said boyfriend, best friend.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. For those kinds of people, then I'll stand up for myself and be like, hey, I don't like that. Or kind of, I don't want to say buck up or buck back, but that's the best way I can describe it.
So I know I'm about to spend a lot of time on this and I'm going to get off of it. I'm spending a lot of time on this because, and maybe you haven't come to this, but I guess what I'm saying is if you're in a relationship with a person, because you're in a whole relationship, and it's always going to be things that are going to come and go, like boundary presses, right? Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is if you have the mindset of, oh, they said this, I'm going to just cut them. I just want you to be aware that you're never going to have a closeness.
I get that. But what I'm saying is if the person, like, just because I buck up or like stand up for myself, for me, that doesn't mean, that's not cutting somebody off.
But I'm saying bigger person is sometimes letting the person just be. So they said it, but you like, okay, another time, another place.
I can do that.
Or do you just hit it every time?
Not every time. I don't hit it every time. It only, if it's like a reoccurring problem, yeah, I'll bring it up, I'll mention it. But if it's like a one or two times, not that big of a deal to me.
Right. So you would be being the bigger person, right?
Yeah. I never, like I said, I never said I wasn't like the bigger person with those kinds of things. I just, when it comes to those kinds of...
that's what you were saying. That's what it sounded like.
When it comes to... No, what I was saying... Or
that's what it was sounding like.
What I meant was, for people that I don't have to... that I'm not super close to, if they... I'm not the bigger person with people that I'm not close to. With people that I'm close to, I'll be the bigger person and I'll let stuff slide and stuff like that. Yeah. With other people, no, not really.
And you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. But I'm gonna tell you this, mother, brother, sister, cousin, if you come for me, I am not gonna always be the bigger person because you know what you're dealing with. So why do I need to be the bigger person if you know saying these kind of things are going to trigger a reaction?
I think that's different. And let me tell you what I mean. I think that happens a lot with you, is that people kind of, like I said earlier, they want to be surprised. Like they think that, oh, I'm going to do this. Say this.
They're insane because they keep doing the same thing over and over, thinking they're going to get a different result. That's what I call it.
Right. And what I'm saying, and what I'm trying to convey is that if somebody does something and they don't know that it's a boundary for me, then yeah,
absolutely.
And I think that those two I think those are two different situations. And I agree with you 100%. If you react a certain way every time and the person still does it, that's on them.
But if you know I don't like purple popsicles, don't bring me a purple popsicle.
Right. But for me, if you don't...
That's what I'm saying. That's it in a nutshell. Again, and I know you get it.
We are
I'm not saying you're not getting it. Yeah, I'm not saying you're not getting it. I'm just, for the listeners.
See, that's what I was saying. Ariel always got to like make it known.
And I make it elementary.
Agreeing. Because of the way she words things.
You know what it is? I think it's my tone. I think my tone...
It's not even that. It's just you go high when you don't have to. The whole point that I'm trying to make is a lot of times people try to bring me purple popsicles knowing I don't like purple popsicles.
Yeah.
And so you brought it to me the first time, and I might have been the bigger person and was like, you know what? I really don't like purple popsicles. So for the future... don't give me purple popsicles, right? I think I'm real clear. I'm always calm, cool, and collected. Because it's not fair to be hyphy on somebody in the beginning. I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
But then the third time you bring me a purple popsicle, now I got an attitude. I can't be the bigger person because I've told you I don't like purple popsicles. Okay? I just put it low. I want a 5-year-old listening to this to get it. Purple popsicle. So stop bringing them to me. Because there's people out there that will bring you the purple popsicle and expect you to be oh, you know what? Let me just eat it even though I don't like it. Let me just, for your feelings, let me eat it. I'm not going to do that. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think we're talking about two different things.
Yeah,
I'm agreeing with you, but
your bigger person example is different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying it was the same.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm just going back to mine and saying, stop bringing people purple popsicles that have told you they don't like them, that have had a reaction when you brought them. So you are more the bigger person than the first season?
I don't think so.
You think you're still the same?
Here's my thing.
Have you focused on it?
I haven't. I don't think I have. I don't think I've focused on it. And I say that only because I haven't.
Did you think you didn't need to?
I didn't think I
Because
needed
if you
to.
don't think you need to focus on it, then you don't.
Because
you said, I remember you saying that you were the bigger person in the first. Didn't she say she
I think I
was?
was. I'm pretty sure I
Yeah.
said I was the bigger
So-
person.
Because she was the only one who said she was. Because
Yeah,
you
me
said
and
you
you
weren't.
yeah.
And then I said that I wasn't going to be anymore.
So, with that being said, you probably didn't feel you needed to work on it because you were there.
Right.
Where me and Chelsi weren't there. And we had a little work to do. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to do much because you're not, again, going to bring me purple popsicles when I don't like them and expect me to act like I like them.
Do you really not like popsicles?
You know, if you're talking about popsicles.
I feel like you like the orange ones.
Yeah.
I see.
Oh, my God. And that was the ones I don't.
Really? I feel
So
like
the
you-
way that it goes, the popsicle in the classic flavors, I always like cherry first.
Yeah, red.
Purple was good. I liked purple.
See, because I don't like purple.
And see, I don't like the orange.
Orange is my favorite.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Because the purple's just too artificially grape.
Yeah.
And I love that.
I only ate orange.
Yeah.
Because what was it? Was it only those three?
It was red, orange, and purple.
Yeah, and orange would always, I would eat them, but they would be the last. Because you know how you go through, I was the only child. Hello, if you don't know, I don't know where you came from. I was the only child, so the whole box of popsicles was mine because my mama would get her own. She liked like creamsicles for some reason. So and I didn't like creamsicles. So she would get me, I would get popsicles. So I would always eat the red. Eat the red down. Eat the purple down. I would eat it
And I don't like the red.
in the order. Oh, cherry was my favorite, then purple, then orange. And like if I got an orange, like, and I still had the others, going back in the box.
Red reminded me of like cough syrup. I don't know why, but
Really?
See, I mean,
I
for
love
me,
the cherry.
it definitely goes orange, red, then purple. Purple's last for me.
It was? Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't let nobody bring you.
Don't bring me no purple
So
popsicles.
in my example, I should have said, don't bring me orange popsicles.
yeah.
But I just thought the purple was funny to say purple.
I think
But yeah, I'm not a fan. So stop bringing people stuff that they don't like and you know they don't like. To me, that's an antagonist. Because for me, I'm not even going to make you have to be the bigger person. And that's what I'm going to go back to this and then I'm going to end this show. I promise. I just feel like some awareness has to be had on both ends. And so being the bigger person doesn't necessarily begin with me. It begins with us.
it's a
because-
two-way street.
It's a very two-way street because you, the person coming to me, has to understand where I am. And don't try to force something down my throat that you know I don't go with. So when I'm dealing with, I'm going to use Neil. I haven't talked about him in a long time. Y'all probably thought we got a divorce. Psych.
I don't think anybody thought that because
I
we
know.
literally just told
Even
the
if we
story.
wanted one, we wouldn't get one.
y'all in it.
After 30 years, let me tell you something. When you've been with somebody over 30 years, what is you going to do? You're not going to ever get used to no other person because you're used to this person. Like, come on.
you didn't spend more time with them than you have by yourself.
Exactly. So Neil ain't going nowhere. But anyway, when I'm the Neil, and that's why I tried to bring it to you through a relationship, because I feel like the biggest relationship that I have in my life that I have to choose to be the bigger person is my marriage. So you have to start thinking about it like this, because Ariel, you got some work to do. This is your first real big relationship. And you got some work to do, because what I'm saying to you is you got to watch how you present things to him, and you got to watch how you react to the things he's bringing to you. So if he brings you the purple, which one she said she didn't like? Did you like any
She said
popsicle?
she didn't like the red one.
Because she also didn't like the purple.
Purple's not. I mean, I'll take a
Orange.
purple.
That's why I had to at least like one, because she would always eat all the oranges.
So yeah, because y'all had to share. See, I didn't have to share my box.
and I'm
And by the
older
time
sister, so whatever I say goes.
Ariel, you are not even that kind of older sister, so I don't even know why. Because I used to punk you a lot when we was kids. Like
she still do.
like
Anyway, people know from this show, I can tell. But no, so by the time Mara and Rod came, they had their own box. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wasn't into popsicles like that by the time they came. So anyway, my marriage is the biggest relationship that I have to choose to be the bigger person. And so when I go to Neil, I'm so in tune to him. I'm not saying I know everything about him because Neil is just that Scorpio.
He likes to keep us on our toes.
Yeah, and you're never going to know everything you need to know about him because he doesn't want to be known.
Yeah, you'll never know his next move.
Me, I don't mind being known. I like being known because I want you to know what ticks me off. Hello. Hello. So anyway, I have to, like, I know that Neil does like this or doesn't like that. So when I'm interacting with him, my way of being the bigger person to him is knowing his likes and his dislikes, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I don't know it, then we're going to have, the conversation. And that's fair. But if I know he doesn't like fudge.
Or, what's something weird that he doesn't like?
He likes a lot of stuff.
I know, but there's...
Coconut. He don't like coconut.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay. Perfect example. So I know Neil does not like coconut, and this is true. I'm not using this as an analogy. Neil doesn't like coconut.
Hates it. Can't stand it.
So a lot of times, if something is coconutty or has coconut, I am so alert that I'll be like, Neil, nope, don't try it. You're not going to like it. It has coconut. And that's all you got to say to him, and he's good. He's gully. But think about if I was this type. Here, try this.
Like how I was. We got a perfect example of this because we just did this to him.
But you knew it tasted like coconut, and you didn't give it to.
We just did this with we bought the pineapple spears and the coconut.
But I thought you
water.
felt like it didn't taste coconutty. That's why.
She lied to him.
I mean, like I just never really knew how deep that coconut
it is
hatred
deep.
was for him. I just thought it was maybe like coconut flakes because I don't really like coconut flakes because I don't like the texture. Mm-hmm. So that's maybe what I thought. I didn't know it was the actual coconut flavor itself.
Yeah, he doesn't like. It's no coconut for him. It's like me with eggs.
Yeah. So when you had bought the pineapple spirits and the coconut water, I was like, you got to try it. Like I don't really think it tastes like coconut. I mean, and it did taste like coconut, but I just
so much coconut. Like to the fact I don't even care for coconut. I mean, I don't mind.
Like artificially coconut. That's what I felt.
I don't even mind coconut, and I couldn't stand them. They were disgusting to me.
So we gave him a piece of it. He put it in his mouth and he instantly spit it out.
And he was like, "Why would you do that to me?" He was mad.
See? So I don't, as his wife, I try not to put him in predicaments where he needs to be the bigger person because I'm aware. I'm in tune. So knowing his likes and his dislikes, I try not to come at him that way. I don't try to give him coconut when I know he doesn't like coconut. But there are times when we have diplomat democracy conversation and I don't trust him. So you got to look at it like that too. Being the bigger person, like I wasn't trying to be the bigger person because I'm telling you, had Ariel not been sitting in that room, I would have still been arguing the word today. I wouldn't have been able to even film this show because I'd have still been downstairs saying, no, I'm talking about diplomacy, da-da-da-da-da. And even when Ariel was telling me the word, I still was like, no, I'm saying diplomacy. Yeah. I tried to change the word.
Yeah.
And she was like, diplomacy, diplomat, it's wrong.
They're the same thing.
It's just wrong, So that I put myself in that predicament because my pride had gotten to me and I didn't want to listen. Ariel was breaking it. I was listening to Ariel, but Neil, I don't trust him with the words. I don't trust him. So I guess we find in fun facts. We're going to end this show. We find in fun facts. In order maybe for you to be the bigger person, you got to have trust in the person that's giving you what they're giving you. If you don't trust the person, you're going to go into low mode, not high mode. So that's our show for the day, y'all.
It is.
Hopefully you guys have listened to the first show of Are You the Bigger Person? That was our first season, first episode. So if you haven't listened to it, we're going to challenge you to do that. Second of all, if you did listen to it, are you now a bigger person? Or, I mean, I think all of the things that we broach the topics of, you're always going to constantly be working on it. But are you better today than you were 2 seasons of Turra and Company
Or
ago?
however long ago you listened.
Yeah, that's true, because you might not have been down with us from the beginning. You might have just found us, but that's okay. So follow us on Instagram. What else? Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
I'm like, do you need me to do it? What is happening?
I don't know. Sometimes I get like a little brain fog about it. Follow us on Instagram.
Subscribe to us on...
Subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit the notification bell so you'll know when the new... I mean, it's so great.
And you know what? Follow us on Facebook, because I feel like that's not one we really say.
Because Facebook gets on my nerves sometimes. I ain't even going to lie. Facebook, they not the groove. Anyway, y'all have a great week and be the bigger person. We will see you guys on the next episode.
Okay, bye.
Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. We look forward to you joining us on the next episode. Until then, be inspired and enlightened.